This is Wallet Brief, where we break down what actually moved the U.S. economy this week, without the noise. If prices, interest rates, jobs, housing, or taxes are quietly changing your money, this is where you stay informed. Let's get into what really happened this week, and what it means for your wallet. For most of late 2025, Americans caught a break at both the gas pump and the grocery store. Gas prices fell steadily through the end of 2025, dipping below $3 per gallon in December for the first time since May 2021. The national average dropped to just $2.81 per gallon in January 2026, the lowest weekly price of the year. Meanwhile, overall food inflation cooled from its August 2022 peak of 11.4%, the highest since May 1979, down to just 2.9% by January 2026. But beneath those national averages, regional differences were stark, and certain food categories like beef and coffee kept climbing, while others like eggs and dairy finally stabilized. Gas prices rose for a fourth straight week, reaching their highest level in 2 months. The national average climbed to $2.91 per gallon as of February 12th, up from $2.88 the previous week. That's still down 7.5% from $3.13 a year ago, but the recent streak ended months of steady declines. West Texas crude oil closed at $64.36 per barrel on February 9th, up 3.6% from the previous week and the highest level since August. The climb was driven by higher crude feedstock costs and renewed geopolitical risk in the Middle East, restoring part of the risk premium. Regional gas prices remain wildly uneven. Oklahoma has the cheapest gas at $2.32 per gallon, while California tops the nation at $4.48. Week-on-week price increases were seen in states including Michigan, up 18 cents, California, up 15 cents, and New Mexico, up 14 cents. On the grocery side, relief is finally arriving. Food prices rose 2.9% in the 12 months ending January 2026, with food at-home prices up just 2.1% and food away-from-home prices up 4%. The USDA predicts grocery prices will rise only 1.7% in 2026, well below the 20-year historical average of 2.6%. Much of the easing comes from plummeting prices for eggs and dairy, which are expected to deflate this year by 22.2% and 0.9% respectively. Egg prices have already declined 30% since Trump took office in January 2025, falling from their spring 2025 peak. But not everything is getting cheaper. Orange juice prices are up 28% and ground beef prices are up 15% from January 2025. Coffee and tea prices surged 11.8% year over year, and non-alcoholic beverages rose 5.1%. Groceries such as snacks, condiments, and other foods that don't fit into traditional categories are estimated to increase 3.1% this year, much higher than last year's 0.9%. The trend is diverging costs. Gas is climbing again after months of relief, while groceries are finally cooling overall, but with huge variation by category. Support for higher gas prices came from signs of tighter crude balances, with official data showing a weekly draw of about 3.5 million barrels, lifting oil benchmarks and refinery input costs. But comfortable product supply, with U.S. gasoline inventories posting a sizable mid-January build of roughly 6 million barrels, is tempering upside potential. For food, key commodity prices including meat, dairy, and sugar have begun easing globally, though consumer confidence remains weak with only 14% of respondents expecting further slowdowns in inflation. The overall pattern is stabilization, not dramatic relief. If you drive regularly, expect to pay about 10 cents more per gallon than you did a month ago. That's an extra $3 to $4 per fill-up for most vehicles. The most expensive model to fill up is the Ram 2500, costing $91.20 at the pump in 2026. But you're still paying less than last year, and if crude oil stabilizes, gas prices could plateau rather than surge. At the grocery store, eggs are finally affordable again after 2 years of volatility. Dairy, potatoes, and sugar should cost less through 2026. But if you eat a lot of beef, drink coffee, or buy packaged snacks, your grocery bill will keep climbing. Experts recommend stocking up when you spot sales, switching to store-brand items, and buying in bulk if you have storage space. Restaurant meals remain stubbornly expensive, with prices up 4% annually, so cooking at home is still the best way to save. The Energy Information Administration releases weekly gasoline inventory and price data every Wednesday. If inventories keep building and crude oil falls back below $60 per barrel, gas prices could reverse course and drop again. For food, the next major inflation report comes March 11th when the Bureau of Labor Statistics releases February Consumer Price Index data. That will show whether egg prices kept falling and whether beef and coffee prices finally stabilized. Spring is also when gas prices typically start climbing due to seasonal demand, so enjoy these lower prices while they last. If crude oil stays elevated and refineries switch to more expensive summer blends, the national average could push back toward $3 per gallon by April. That's your wallet brief for this week. These changes don't always make headlines, but they do change how much you pay, save, and earn. We'll be back next week with the updates that matter. Until then, stay informed and protect your wallet.